Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this Chevron washcloth. This is such a simple stitch and simple design, and it makes a really cool look. It has the zigzag design on it. It is so simple, and I'm so excited to share this with you today. As you can see, the increases and decreases of this stitch are so wonderful. And I'm going to be using Scrubby Smoothie Yarn by Red Heart Yarns. I'm using these two colors here, but there are obviously many colors on this scale here, so you can get any colors you want. I highly recommend using cotton yarn. If you can't get Scrubby Smoothie, some sort of cotton double knitting size or Aran size can make this washcloth, so make sure to get something equivalent. And you know, if you go to yarnsub.com and type in Scrubby Smoothie or Red Heart Yarn Scrubby Smoothie, all the equivalent yarns should pop up if you can't get this brand. But big thank you to Yarnspirations for providing this yarn today. We are also going to be using an H-size crochet hook, which is 5mm. This fancy crochet hook is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. It is ergonomically hand-carved wooden handled crochet hook, and it just fits it nicely in the palm of your hand. It's wonderful. You can get your favorite crochet hook inserted in there. Make sure to check out the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy for these types of crochet hooks, but in this tutorial I'm going to be using this H-size hook, which is 5mm, and also a scissors and a yarn needle to cut your yarn and sew in your ends. We change color very frequently, so I sew in my ends on the side. So those are all the supplies you're going to need. Check out all the links in the description of this video before you start. Hit the subscribe button before you begin this tutorial, and make sure to see the free crochet pattern, written pattern on YARNutopia.com, as well as other fabulous crochet tutorials. Alright, let's get started and make this chevron washcloth. Alright, we're going to start off with making a slip knot, so put your short end over your long end, then fold this down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight. You can insert your hook and tighten that a little bit, and we can start. We're going to start off by chaining 39. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to make you watch me chain 39. You can, if you want to make this bigger or smaller, just chain a multiple of 12 and then add 3 more chains at the end of that. So I'm doing 36 chains plus 3 more chains gets me 39 chain stitches here. So I'm going to chain 39 and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is what your chain should look like. It does look quite long, extra long, but with the chevron design it's going to shrink in size. So just keep that in mind. So going on to row 1, it says to put 2 double crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain, so we're going to count this first chain here, 2nd chain, 3rd chain. And what I personally like to do is turn my chain toward me, and I like to work into these back ridges of my work. So let's go 1, 2, 3. This chain right here, just yarn over, okay, go into that chain right there, okay, then yarn over and pull through, okay, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops, just like that. Now in that same chain we're going to put another double crochet. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Perfect. Now we are going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 chains. So yarn over, go into the next chain, make a double crochet, just 1 in the next 5. So that was 1, going to the next chain, here's 2, next chain, here's 3, next chain is 4, and then the next chain is our 5th stitch in a row. Okay, now what we want to do is make a dip. So what we're going to do is skip this next chain and then put a double crochet in each of the next 5 chains. Okay, so skip this next chain here and yarn over. So skip this one, go into this next one here, and put a double crochet in the next 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we want to make the top of our chevron. So you can see it's starting to go V here. So now we're going to make the top part of the chevron here. In this very next chain, we are going to put 3 double crochets. So yarn over, go into this next chain here, and put 3 double crochets in that same chain. So 1, going back into that same chain for another one. So there's 2, and 1 more in that same chain. 3. Okay. Now we're going to come down this side here. So we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 chains. So yarn over, go into this very next chain, and put a double crochet in each of the next 5. So there's 1. Here's 2. Next one is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you can see here, I'm going to set this down, you can see that this is the top, okay, this is the bottom, so we're going to repeat then from here across here. So now on this one, this next stitch, or this next chain, we are going to skip the next chain, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 5. So repeat what we did here, skip the next chain, double crochet in 5, then 3 double crochets in the next chain, and then 1 double crochet in the next 5. So just repeat that again. So skip this next one and double crochet in the next 5. And I believe you're going to end, let me make sure on my work here. You're going to end on an up, like on a top, not a bottom. So this skipping the chain is the bottom of the chevron, and the 3 on top is the higher point, I guess, of that. So we're going to end on a higher point. So I'm going to continue this repeat, and then I will come back and show you how to end this row. Alright, I have 1 chain left. As you can see, I have skipped this chain here, and I have 5 double crochets in these 5 chains, and then there's 1 chain left, just like in the beginning where we put 2 double crochets. Sorry, my thing flipped. It twisted. Here, we put 2 double crochets in this stitch, in this chain here. We're going to end this row with 2 double crochets in the last chain. Okay, so don't put 3, just put 2. 1 and 2. And now we are going to chain 2. 1 and 2. That does not count as anything. We're going to turn our work here. Okay, and now as you can see, the chevron design is very subtle right now, but it will definitely get going once you have more rows. But you can see here is my chevron look. So we have 2 ups and then 3 downs, but these sides are upward. Okay, so now we are going to go on to row 2. Row 2 says to put 2 double crochets in the very first stitch. So it looks like this chain 2 here is in this stitch right here, but we are going to put 2 double crochets in there. So yarn over, go into that stitch, okay, very first stitch, and put your 2 double crochets, just like that. Okay, now we're going to just put a regular double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. Okay, it's the right before this stitch here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll have 1 stitch before we skip stitches here. So just put 1 double crochet in each of these. I'm going to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now, instead of just skipping one stitch, we are going to skip both of these next 2 stitches here. And we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of these next 5 stitches on here, on this side. Okay, so this is the dip of our chevron. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches, yarn over, go into that next stitch there, and double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now it should be, you should be in the middle stitch of the 3 double crochet grouping. So right here is the middle stitch of this 3 double crochet grouping. We're going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we are at the point where we are going to skip 2 stitches, just like how we did over here, where we have these 2 stitches skipped. Okay, so we're just going to repeat what we did from here across to here, and then we're going to end on an up, and I'll show you how to finish this row. But right now we're just going to skip these next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 5, then put 3 double crochets in the middle double crochet of the next 3 double crochet grouping here, and then double crochet in the next 5 stitches, skip these 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and I'll show you how to end. So I'll be right back. Alright, I just double crocheted in my last 5 stitches there. Now we have 1 stitch left. Remember to ignore this chain 2 here. So we have 1 stitch left. We are going to put 2 double crochets in that last stitch. 1 and 2. Now if you're not changing color, finish off this stitch just like this. But if you are changing color, leave those last 2 loops on your hook, and then grab your new color. I'm going to use this aqua color here, and we're going to hook that on. Oops, there you go. Hook this on, and then pull it through those last 2 loops to finish that stitch, and now we have the new color. And we are going to go on to row 3. We are going to chain 2, turn our work around. Okay, I'm going to set this down here, and I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to cut my old color. Okay, if you did not change color, just finish off that last stitch and chain 2 with me, and then go on to row 3 if you are not changing color. But if you are, finish off that last stitch there. And what I personally do, I do tie knots in my work. You don't have to, you can just sew in your ends and they won't unravel, but I'm just going to knot it just the one time, and then when I sew it in, I sew my ends in back and forth. Actually, I can show you how to sew this one in, this yellow one here. You can see I yarn my needle with that strand, then I go underneath these last 3 or 4 stitches, and then I come back through, and then you can do it even a 3rd time for safety, and then that's stitched in and it's secure, and then you can cut that little extra. So I have to sew this one in too. But let's go on to row 3. It's basically just a repeat of row 2. So we are going to put 2 double crochets in the very first stitch, 1 and 2, then double crochet into the next 5 stitches. Then we will be skipping 2 stitches. I'm going to go a little bit faster here. You can follow along with the written pattern that's free on YARNutopia.com. Just keep checking your work. Follow this tutorial for reference. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches now. We're at the base of the chevron, and we're going to hop to this one here and make a double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then at the top here, this is the middle stitch of our 3 double crochet grouping. So we are going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to double crochet into the next 5, skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 5, put 3 double crochets in the middle double crochet of this grouping, then double crochet in 5 stitches, skip these next 2 stitches here, and then double crochet into these 5, and I'll meet you at the end of row 3. Alright, and when you have 1 stitch left here, see I did a double crochet in those last 5 stitches and there's 1 stitch left, we're going to put 2 double crochets in that last stitch before we go on to row 4. Now row 4 is just a repeat of that last row there, so we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and just work that same concept. And you can see the chevron's looking great so far. How cool is that? So we are going to just repeat this, and we're going to change color every 2 rows. So after row 4, I'll change color back to yellow and do 2 rows of yellow, then 2 rows of this aqua color, and then 2 more rows of yellow, etc. until I am finished. And I am going to do total of 14 rows. So I'm on row 4 right now, and then I have to do 10 more after this. And once I finish row 14, I'll show you what to do next. Alright, I'm coming up on my last stitch, just putting 2 double crochets in my very last stitch here, and then I'm going to fasten off. So just chain 1, cut your yarn, and then pull it all the way through that chain 1 and pull tight, and then we'll grab our yarn needle and sew that in. But this is what your work should look like, is 14 rows of the chevron, and look at how fabulous that looks. So, I mean, with this multiple of 12 plus 3 chains on your foundation, you can make this chevron design in so many things. I just wanted to show the dishcloth look of this. These dishcloths look great, or they work great. They look great in the kitchen, but they also work great, especially when I am washing up my son's face and when he gets super messy, or washing off surfaces. They just work really nicely, and the cotton material is very absorbent. So that is how you sew in the end there, and just trim the rest. And there you have it. Our chevron washcloth is complete. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this. Thank you to our Yarnspirations and Red Heart Yarns for this scrubby smoothie yarn. I have multiple colors here. You can get it in so many fabulous cotton colors. And also big thank you to my dad over my shoulder, who's filming this tutorial for all of us to watch. He edits and he takes all the photos, so thanks to him. And thanks to you for watching. Until next time, happy hooking!